Hello all, this is Nagendra here, presenting you the task number 2 as Data Science and Business Analytics intern at the Sparks Foundation. The name of the task is Prediction Using Unsupervised Machine Learning Algorithm. Here the objective is, from the given iris dataset, we have to predict the optimum number of clusters and represent it visually. So following are the libraries that I am going to use in this particular task. From the datasets library, I'm importing or loading the iris dataset. So this is how the dataset look like. See, the shape of the dataset is 150, 4. Here 150 represents the number of rows and the 4 represents number of columns. So the columns are sepal length, sepal width, petal length and petal width. So here we don't have the target column because we have to cluster the data based on these features. So that's why we don't have any target variable. So in this data, there we can see there are no null values, and we can also see the statistical properties of the dataset that are count, mean, standard deviation, minimum value, and the 25 percentile minimum value and all. And then we can visualize the data and see the distribution of the data. Here we can see how each of these features are distributed. Okay, and then next we can also analyze the correlation between the features. So we can see how these features are correlated to each other. See here, petal width and sepal length are highly correlated, and petal length and petal width are highly correlated, and also see here sepal length, petal width are also correlated. So likewise you can see the how features are correlated to each other. Okay, then we can also here we are visualizing the sepal. We are visualizing the data based on the sepal and petal dimensions. So based on the sepal dimensions, we can see here the data data has been clustered into two groups. So this is based on the sepal dimensions. So here we can separate the data based on the sepal dimensions. Similarly, based on the petal dimensions, we can separate the data like here. So by visually we can separate the data or cluster the data into two different groups. Let us see how the algorithm actually cluster the data based on some other features. Considering the features, all the features, the algorithm is going to cluster the data. Here we are using k-means algorithms. So by using elbow method, we could see here, based on the elbow method, we have number 3. So the elbow here in the curve is pointing at the number 3. So the algorithm actually produces 3 clusters on the data. So this is how the k-means algorithm is actually implemented on the dataset. Finally, we can visualize the clusters that have been grouped by the algorithm. So here these are the three different clusters of the data. Each of these centroids represents 3 different kinds of clusters. I mean, iris setosa, iris versicolor, iris virginica. So these are the 3 different kinds of flower data sets, flower types, with which the data actually is being clustered. So these are the centroids that represents where these 3 types of flowers actually focused. Okay, the source code of this particular task has been stored in my GitHub repository. Interested people can actually catch it there. Thank you very much.